Coming up on CPTV, early primary voting has opened in what many political strategists are referring to as a pivotal midterm election. After labor contracts expired and negotiation regarding wages failed, public utility company NIPSCO locked out United Steelworkers and is currently using non-union workers to fill their roles. And our number one state-ranked CP baseball team hosted Valpo Tuesday night, hoping to continue their undefeated season. CPTV is up next. Hi, I'm Braydon Zamojski.
And I'm Rana Stevens.
Welcome to CPTV. Later on in the show, Bella Angarone will have your 5-day weather forecast, and Gabe Trevino will bring us CP sports highlights.
Here's what's happening in and around Crown Point.
As primary election season gets underway across Northwest Indiana, early voting is giving residents a head start at the polls. From shorter wait times to added convenience, more voters are choosing to cast their vote before Election Day. Rico Artister takes a closer look at where, when, and why people are showing up early right here in Crown Point.
Primary elections play a critical role in the democratic process. This is where voters decide which candidates will represent each political party in the November general election.
In Indiana, voters must choose a party ballot, either Republican or Democratic, and may only vote in that party's races. The winners of these contests will advance to the general election later this year. In Lake County, voters are selecting nominees for key local offices, including prosecuting attorney, circuit court clerk, and town councils. Statewide races include seats in the U.S. House of Representatives, the Indiana State Senate, and the Indiana House.
Your vote definitely has impact in primaries. That point is valid. Usually the voter turnout is lower in primaries than it is for general elections, but those that come out successful in the primaries are in the general election. So if you have a candidate that you really like, it's important to get out to that primary and cast your vote, because that vote and those votes impact who's in the general election.
State officials are also emphasizing the importance of voter participation as Hoosiers weigh in on races that could shape policy at both the local and state level.
Early voting continues through May 4th, with polls open statewide on primary election day, May 5th. Voters are reminded to bring a valid photo ID when heading to the polls.
For CPTV News, I'm Rico Artister.
For more information on early voting locations and hours, voters can visit their county election office.
Tensions are rising across Northwest Indiana as a labor dispute between our local major utility company NIPSCO and local steelworkers has led to a widespread lockout impacting workers and their families throughout the region. As negotiations remain at a standstill, many are left wondering what comes next. Braydon has been following the developing situation and explains what it could mean for our service and safety.
For the past several days, picket lines like this one have formed outside NIPSCO facilities across Northwest Indiana. More than 1,600 workers represented by the United Steelworkers Union were locked out after contract negotiations with the company broke down. Union leaders say workers are willing to take on mandatory overtime in exchange for stronger financial benefits like pensions, while NIPSCO is pushing to maintain its current overtime system and protections. In a public statement from NIPSCO President and Chief Operating Officer Vince Parisi, the company has, quote, negotiated in good faith from day one, end quote, and said the proposal was, quote, one of the strongest proposals in our history that reflects industry standards and is designed to support safety, long-term service reliability, effective emergency response, and customer affordability, end quote. However, the company says the union would not agree to its final proposal. We reached out to Ryan Baker, president of the Steelworkers Union Local 12775, for a comment, but he did not return our calls. The lockout comes at a time when spring storms have already hit the region, making longer response times for outages and repairs. Both sides say they're opening to continuing negotiations, but for now, the standoff continues on streets and picket lines across the region. NIPSCO has not announced when bargaining will resume, but workers plan to stay on picket lines until a new agreement is reached. For CPTV News, I'm Braydon Zamojski.
New details are emerging daily in the growing conflict between the U.S. and Iran following several days of high-level negotiations. Talks held over the weekend in Pakistan between U.S. officials led by Vice President J.D. Vance and Iranian leaders failed to produce a deal after nearly a full day of discussions. The biggest sticking points include Iran's nuclear program and control of the Strait of Hormuz. The U.S. has now launched a major naval blockade, turning back multiple ships and limiting traffic through the region after peace talks collapsed. That disruption is already impacting global oil supply, with prices rising as tensions remain high and no agreement is in sight.
We have been at it now for 21 hours, and we've had a number of substantive discussions with the Iranians. That's the good news. The bad news is that we have not reached an agreement, and I think that's bad news for Iran much more than it's bad news for the United States of America.
A seemingly harmless competition among high school seniors is raising concerns from both parents and law enforcement. The game known as Senior Assassin involves students trying to eliminate one another using water guns outside of school hours. While many students view it as a fun tradition to celebrate the end of their senior year, authorities say the game can sometimes create dangerous situations. Police warn that realistic-looking water guns or unexpected confrontations in public places could lead to misunderstandings. Parents and officials are encouraging students to use good judgment, stay aware of their surroundings, and prioritize safety as the game continues to gain popularity.
CPHS students have been battling parking issues around the school for the last few years as enrollment climbs to record highs each year. And this year, students are seeing cars left in unsafe positions throughout the school grounds. CPTV's Owen Evener has the story.
Ground Point High School students are getting to school earlier in an attempt to secure a parking spot. CPHS students and visitors are parking along the curbs, making it more difficult for cars to get in and out of the parking lot. As more students get their driver's license as the year goes on, parking becomes more of an issue. The school only has 549 student parking spots for a school of 2,966 students.
In general, I think the parking situation here is definitely messed up. The people are a big issue. The amount of spots is a big issue.
We asked CPHS admin, who said students can park at St. Matthias Church throughout the school year and at the Bulldog Center in the fall and spring. It is not uncommon when cars are found to be parked along the medians to have a student call down to the attendance office and ask to move their vehicle into a parking spot.
We went from cold to almost hot this past week. Here to tell us if we can expect temperatures to moderate over the next few days is Bella Angarone with your 5-day weather forecast.
Average high temperature for this time of year is 61 degrees, and we saw temps earlier in the week above 80. Right now, it's 71 degrees outside with partly sunny skies. Winds at 12 miles per hour coming out of the south-southeast. No real threat of precipitation today, but temps will roller coaster a bit over the next 5 days. Tomorrow, we drop down into the upper 60s with partly cloudy skies, and there's a 50% chance a rain shower will move through during the day. Sunday begins a dry period with sunshine on Sunday and Monday and Tuesday. However, we'll drop down to 51 on Sunday and then bounce back up to 60 degrees on Monday, and then back up to the low 70s on Tuesday. The long-range forecast has us hovering in the upper 60s with chances of showers throughout the next weekend. That's your 5-day weather forecast. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Bella. The CPHS campus was packed Tuesday night with the state-ranked #1 baseball team and the girls lacrosse team both in action. Here with sports is Gabe Trevino.
The CP baseball team made a statement Tuesday, taking down reigning state champion Valparaiso in a dominant conference matchup, jumping out to a 7-0 lead after just 2 innings, thanks in part to the man on the mound. CP senior Logan Johnson delivered a no-hitter, shutting down Valpo's offense from start to finish, allowing only 2 base runners, while senior Sean Dunlap and a variety of Dogs hitters, including Connor Gaines and Kaden Matusak, delivered at the plate. Dunlap hit his 4th home run of the season, a massive bomb that landed somewhere near the field house. The Bulldogs piled on the runs, mercy ruling Valpo 11-0. With the win, CP improves to 9-0 on the season and keeps its undefeated record intact. The Dogs expect to battle Friday night versus former state champ Penn, and then shift back to conference games next week versus Maryville. Also on Tuesday night, the newly added IHSAA girls lacrosse team matched up against Culver Academy. The girls started the game strong, scoring 3 goals early in the first quarter. Culver eventually gained momentum, putting up 3 goals of their own to tie things up. Culver then came running out of the second half and took the lead, scoring 5 goals in just 4 minutes to open the third quarter, putting CP in an 8-3 hole. Culver remained in control for the fourth quarter. Despite Ellie Carlson's 3 goals and a few late goals from the Bulldogs, Culver held off CP, winning by a score of 13-7. Crown Point falls to 4-2 on the season. The girls will finish their 5-game homestand versus LC on Thursday. And that's it for sports.
The biopic of pop superstar Michael Jackson, titled Michael, is scheduled for a worldwide theatrical and IMAX release on April 24th. The city of Gary secured an exclusive free early screening of the film Monday night through a months-long campaign by the Gary International Black Film Festival and Mayor Eddie Melton. CPTV's Jaime Sesteta and photographer Aiden Hetler-Rogers were at the screening.
Behind me is the red carpet inside of Westside Leadership Academy's Mark Spencer Auditorium. And with that comes the earliest screening of Michael Jackson's biopic.
Magic.
Michael Jackson was just a kid in Gary. In a span of only 50 years, he would go to become a 13-time Grammy winner, a 40-time Billboard Music Awards winner, a 26-time AMA winner, and one of the best-selling artists of all time. With a rise to fame this grand comes a biopic, which hits the theaters on April 24th. Westside Leadership Academy's Mark Spencer Auditorium has done an early screening of Michael, not only to honor his legacy, but to honor his early roots in the city.
I think it's appropriate because we're from Gary, Indiana. We cannot release a movie about the Jackson family, my brother Michael, and not have a premiere in Gary where we're from. So I think it's great.
We worked really hard to get the film here, and I'm just excited that the day has come and it's here. We reached out to Lionsgate last year, and we started the conversation at that time.
Michael Jackson's biopic released its trailer 5 months ago to universal acclaim. The biopic stars Jafar Jackson, Michael Jackson's nephew, to play as Michael from his early days to his album Bad.
You know, there's a lot of people try to emulate my brother, right? And dance like him. He became Michael in this film. When I was watching it, when I watched the movie, sometimes I think I'm watching my brother, but I realize it's not Michael, it's Jafar.
It was incredibly challenging, but it was also the most fun experience I think I've ever had, to be able to learn and get a deeper appreciation for his music, for his artistry, and also for my family's history.
This biopic is planning on being a 2-part movie if the first movie is a success. With this early screening of Michael, we hope that he and his work will be honored for eternity in his hometown of Gary. With CPTV News, I'm Jaime Sestaida.
This year, the CPHS theater program has expanded with the addition of a black box production of the classic Thornton Wilder play, Our Town.
Before we had black box productions, more than half of the kids who auditioned for shows didn't get in, so our crews ended up overloaded, and kids felt rejected. Every kid in a black box show gets stage time, gets they're on the stage, they get lines, they have a part to play. Everyone gets all of the experience, and so the goal is to double our theater program.
Students perform the play in what is known as the theater classroom, but the space was actually designed as a black box theater when the building was first constructed in 2003. This new opportunity was created to give more of CPHS's large enrollment to participate in theatrical productions and to hone their chops in a smaller, intimate production than what is traditionally presented for the main stage shows.
I think if you're more nervous, it's good to always just go for the big stage. Even if you're not nervous, anything, go for the big stage. But if you tend to be more shy or you're more nervous, worried about making friends, join the black box production. It really helps a lot to grow confidence and mature more acting abilities.
This past weekend, the Crossroads YMCA hosted the 45th Annual Hub Run, a community charity race throughout the city of Crown Point. CPTV's Taser Kelmel was there for the event.
Today, Saturday, April 11th, marks the 45th Annual Hub Run in Crown Point. The race is a part of the YMCA Triple Crown Challenge. The Triple Crown Challenge is a race series that includes all 3 Crossroads YMCA races. Money raised for this event goes to the YMCA Income-Based Scholarship Program. Those income-based scholarships are given to low-income individuals and families so they can participate in YMCA membership and programs.
So this race is a fundraiser for the Crossroads YMCA. We raise money. The money for this race goes towards our income-based scholarship program. So at the Y, we don't deny anyone membership for the inability to pay. So the money that we raise for this race goes towards helping those people. This year we had runners participants from as young as 3 weeks old, obviously in a stroller, up to 97 years old. And it's just awesome to see such a large age range of people come out with their families to participate in this race and just make it kind of a fun day for everybody.
With CPTV News, I'm Taser Kelmel.
That's it for today's show. Thanks for taking the time to tune in and for being with us.
Remember, you can view all of our past episodes on crowntownmedia.com.
You can also follow us on Twitter at CrownTMedia.
For Rana, Bella, Gabe, and all of us here at CPTV, I'm Braydon Zamojski.
And I'm Rana Stevens.
Take care.